Let's technically analyze German40, which we also refer to as German30, and we're on the weekly chart. So what we'll do in regards to the technical analysis of German40 is identify the market structure, key support and resistance levels, market patterns that we should be paying attention to, important candlestick patterns, as well as levels at which we should be looking for potential buy and sell opportunities. Before we get into the actual technical analysis, I thought I should mention that we've recently partnered with AvaTrade. AvaTrade is a reliable and reputable broker that we use, and they offer indices, forex, crypto, commodities, as well as options. To open an account with AvaTrade, simply click the link in the description in the video. Right. Anyway, let's get into the actual technical analysis of German40. And as I said, we are on the weekly chart. And on the weekly chart, and just to recap, the last time we spoke about this particular index, we had mentioned that the market had given us this very nice M structure, and the anticipation was for the market to actually head down to around this level to complete this very nice M structure. And why do I say this level? That is because the structure had started at this level, right? And it would be fitting for price to end in line with where it would have started, right? But what we saw was, after the market giving us this very nice M structure, right, price broke to the bottom side of that neckline and then went back up to the neckline to give it a test. However, the neckline was not really able to hold price, and we saw the market actually move further up, right, making this M structure no longer relevant, right? And what happened from there is that we actually saw this bullish candlestick actually closing to the upside of that previous all-time high. If I can just use the crosshairs just to illustrate this point, right? We had this candlestick over here, which is a bullish candlestick, closing above this previous all-time high, which is the 16417.73 level, right? Anyway, from here, let's head down to the daily chart and see what's happening down there. And here we are on the daily chart, right? Let me just zoom in a bit. Let's see, right? On the weekly chart, just to recap, guys, on the weekly chart, we spoke about how we had this very nice M structure, and I said to you guys that the neckline is at this point, and that we had seen price actually closing to the bottom side of that neckline, going back to the neckline to give it a test, and unfortunately the neckline was not able to hold price, as I said, and we saw the market continue to move further up, right? So in my very humble opinion, I would say that, remember, I always say that whenever we have these M structures, what normally happens is that a lot of traders and investors usually sell on the second leg of that M structure, and they place their stop losses just above, right? So we had this M structure, and we had a lot of traders and investors selling on the second leg of this M structure and placing their stop losses just above. So this whole move over here was actually a stop hunt. It was a stop hunt because there was a lot of money actually trapped at this point in the form of stop losses, right? And that's liquidity. And as I usually say, guys, liquidity is actually money that needs to be triggered by the market at one point or another, right? So another thing that I also want to bring to your attention is that as much as we had this very nice M structure, what happened was the market gave us an opposing structure in the very same location in the form of a W structure over here. I hope you guys can see that. And just like with M structures, whenever we have these W structures, we want to see price, right, breaking to the upside of that neckline, coming back to the neckline, and then at that neckline is where we normally look for those potential buying opportunities. However, in regards to this W structure, remember also that what happens is a lot of traders and investors usually buy on the second leg of that W structure, and they place their stop losses just below, right? So after this W structure or double bottom presented itself, we actually saw a situation where the market from this level moved further down to this level. This whole move was a stop hunt as well, because we had a lot of stop losses located within this region. So what am I saying, guys? What I'm saying, in other words, is that German40 or German30, however you wanna, or whatever you wanna call it, has been quite tricky within this block over here, right? And that's one of the reasons why over the last couple of days and even the last week, we haven't really been trading German40, and that is because it is mixed, right? And at this point in time, I believe that we're likely to see the market move further up. Why do I say so? Let's head down to the H4 chart, right? Just bear with me, guys. Let's see. And here we are on the H4 chart. And just to recap again, guys, if I can just zoom out a bit, right? Remember, on the daily chart, I spoke about how we had this M structure, right? And we said that price broke to the bottom side of this neckline, then went back up to stop hunt the stop losses that are located here. To add to this, we also spoke about how we had this W structure, and we saw the market actually move further down, right, to grab the stop losses that are located within this zone over here, right? Anyway, let's zoom in and see what else is happening with regards to the H4 chart of German 40, right? And here we are on the H4 chart. On the H4 chart, we can see, guys, that the market, right, after stop hunting at this point, went further down again, right? Why did the market come back to this level? If you were to look at this area over here, right, you would see that we have another structure which is a double bottom here. I hope you guys can see that. And we can see also that this candlestick over here, this bullish candlestick, actually came to the bottom side of this W structure, right? It's the same principle at play where we had price giving us a W structure, a lot of traders and investors buying on the second leg of the W structure, and then placing their stop losses just below, right? So this whole move again was a stop hunt again. It was a stop hunt to grab the stop losses that were located in and around this region over here, right? So that's one of the reasons why I say German 40 has been very, very tricky. But in as far as buying or selling opportunities, I don't see any. However, having said that, at this point, because price came back to this level to stop hunt the stop losses that were located just below here, due to the fact that we had this W structure, I now actually expect the market to head up to around this level over here, right? That's what I see happening next, right? I see the market moving further up to around this point over here. Another thing that I also want to point out, if I can just zoom in, is that if you were to pay attention to this area over here, you would see that we had what seems to be a head and shoulders pattern, right? And we know with head and shoulders patterns, what normally happens is that a lot of traders and investors usually sell on that right hand shoulder, right? And then again, when price closes below the neckline, placing their stop losses here as well as at that level, right? So it's possible that we may see the market actually move further up to grab the stop losses that are located here, right, on this shoulder, as well as just above the head of that head and shoulders pattern, right? But as I said, guys, in as far as buying or selling opportunities at this point, I don't see any, but I expect the market to, from where it is, move further down, or rather further up to around this level. Why do I say so? That is because, guys, as I said, we had this W structure, and price went down to stop hunt the stop losses that were located within this range, and now I expect the market to continue to move further up to around this level to grab the stop losses that are located here just above that right hand shoulder, as well as above the head of that head and shoulders pattern.